Today we're going to do part 2 of our radial design prints. Here's some vocabulary: radial design, symmetry, mandala, printmaking, and the things that go along with printmaking, which are barriers and pulling a print. This is an example of what your radial design prints could look like. Last week you painted your background starting at the center and going out, which is radial balance or symmetry. You chose a bright color or bright pattern and kept it simple because the print on top is the thing that will be showcased. So today we're going to create the styrofoam stamp. As you can see, there's a center point and all the designs go away from that. And there's 4 sections. So we will be creating just 1/4 of your radial design. You're going to get a square piece of paper and some tracers. Write your name and your class code on the back. And if you want to, you can use a tracer to help you begin your design. Choose any corner to start drawing. Place your tracer in any corner. And I like to just choose a small piece of the hexagon and go out from there. Remember, you're just creating 1/4 or 1/4, and it's going to look really great when it's all printed together as 4 pieces. Just use simple lines, simple patterns, and simple shapes. Here's some great examples I pulled. They start in the corner and radiate out to the edge. There's no empty space, except for that one. There's empty space. This one filled in their empty space all the way to the edge of the square paper. So let's begin. You will be using 2 different writing tools today. The first one is the Sharpie to write your name and your class code on the back. The second one is a writing pen. You've seen them before. They have a pointier end. That will be used to carve or make an impression in your styrofoam. To make your life easier, I like to flip over my styrofoam and use masking tape to tape the sketch on top of the styrofoam, so then if you move it by accident, you won't lose your spot. Wrap it all the way around the back. Then find where your design begins in the corner. I like to hold on to it with my fingers and thumb and then flip it over to the back and draw an arrow where the center of your design begins. That is very important to do because it will be helpful when you are printing next week. Remember the Sharpie and the pen? Well, you are going to put the Sharpie away to the side and get out your pen. You will basically press down on top of the lines that you drew on your piece of paper, and this will make an impression and press through to the styrofoam. The impression, you want a nice deep press because when you roll your ink next week, your design will show up very well. So after you've taken a peek at your impression on your styrofoam, you can take off your paper sketch and take it home, or put it on my desk if you don't want it. Get out your pen again and retrace inside the impressions. So now you have a black or red line, and when you run your finger across it, you can see that it's pressed down and has an impression. Congrats, you've just made a stamp. When you're done, clip all the art from your table in one clip, and the number 2 people will put it in the class drawer for next week. So here's your red tray. So on the red tray is some practice, the light pink paper for practice. So this is what you're going to get, and you're also going to receive your painted paper and your stamp. Now, the stamp. You guys are 5th graders. You can tell if you did not do your second press down or if you did. So I'm going to leave that guy up to you guys. If you're putting your finger on top of your stamp and it's not bumpy enough, then please go get a pen on the art buffet and just trace over it again, because you're going to be not happy with it if it's not dug down enough. So make sure that it's nice and dug down enough. Also, see the arrow? The arrow is pointing to that part of the design where I started. So please make sure you have an arrow on the back of yours as well. Also, you're going to need a good old messy mat. The messy mat is super important because you're going to put your stamp on it. So when you guys do this, on your pink paper, just write your name. This is a practice. When you guys do this, make sure it's the one without the rainbow on it. Okay, use this one. So you can see this one's longer. When you guys get your ink, tap the brayer in the ink, and then down below, roll it both directions to cover. It's not covered yet. Keep rolling. Just keep going back and forth, side to side, north, south, east, west. Pretty good. There's a little dry spot there. Don't roll it through that. Okay, you should hear that sticky sound. Then the ink goes on the stamp. Hold it with your hand and roll the ink. Go back east and west, right and left, up and down. Put that back on the tray. This is your practice. Your name should be up. Lay your practice paper on top. Massage with your fingertips. We're not pounding. We're not using the palm. You're using the fingertips. You can kind of see it be revealed. If I zoom in, you can kind of feel the ridges. Get the edges. And then you're going to do the magical part that I love, which is pulling the print. You can kind of peek and see. That looks good. Pull the print. See, that's why you guys need to use your pen and really press down in those areas so you get a nice deep incision. So set that to the side. Now it's the final copy. You're going to do it on your final paper. So do the same thing. Just do a tap, a roll. So you're going to have to re-ink your brayer every time you make a print. So there's going to be a lot. That's why I'm only having like half the class do this, because it requires so much. So again, hold on to the stamp, re-roll, and then re-roll left to right. Now's the part where you need to pay real good attention to your arrow. The arrow has to be pointing to the center. This lines up with the corner. Then you get the rainbow one and you roll it on the back and you press down. I like to stand up when I'm doing this part. Press down really good because the stamp is now on top. You can't press the paper like you did with the practice. All right, then pull the print. Okay, go towards the middle.
20,000, please.
And then just make sure not to put your brayer.
It looks like one of those scratches.
It does. Just don't roll it in the ink again. Just keep it on the back of your stamp. And again, for this part, press it down. You can even put your hand here and press it down. And then you'll have another successful print, and you're starting to build your radial print. So when you have all 4 printed, you are going to lay your 3 pieces on your messy mat just like this, and just lay the entire messy mat with all 3 pieces on the drying rack. Then you can go stand on a red dot, wait in line, look on the floor, there's little red dots for you to stand and wait and wash your hands at the sink closest to the Mona Lisa. Hope you guys have a great time printmaking today. Can't wait to see how they turn out.